Good morning, YTPC. Voodoo Review coming at you. Kind of an interesting title, huh? Well, in case you didn't know, on Twitter, you can find me at Friedonald. But how did I get that name? Well, many years ago, back when AOL was about the only option, I took a job on the road. And I said, okay, I'm going to take this job on the road. But to pay bills, I need to get an internet account. So I punched in to AOL and tried every cool name I could think of. And I came to one conclusion. All the cool names were already taken. Well, damn. So what did I do? Now, I was an electrician back then. I didn't know too much about computers. I knew how to power them up. I knew how to run them. But I really didn't know all that much. So what happened was, I decided to let AOL... Howdy, Suffolk. Alright, back to the story. Short story, sort of. I decided to let AOL decide for me in my name. So I hit the little tab that said, show me some available options. The first one, right up at the top, shows up with Friedonald. Now remember, I was an electrician, so Friedonald. Really, it was a smash between the city I lived in, or the town I lived in, rather, and my name, Donald. I lived in Friendswood at the time, a little suburb on the south side of Houston, almost dead set in between Houston and Galveston. Look on a map, you can find it. Just north of Alvin and just south of, oh God. But they chose Friedonald. I laughed and laughed and laughed. It was hilarious. To me, anyways, it was hilarious. I literally was rolling on the floor laughing. Truly. Under the desk, laughing. When I could finally see from the tears of laughter, I reached up, clicked accept, and Friedonald was born. As I said, fitting topic for today, which just happens to be my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And howdy all y'all out there in YouTube land. Hopefully y'all are having a spectacular day. Just happens to be April 4th, 2019. Other important things that happened on this day. 51 years ago, some jackass by the name of James Earl Ray assassinated Martin Luther King Jr. And that's about it. That's really about it. Well, I'm halfway to 90. And it's official because I was born at 10:31 in Oakland, California, which would translate to 8:31 local time. And right now it says 8:36 on this clock. So I'm pretty good. Officially 45 years old. And my pipe just went out. So it's time to load another one and continue this celebration. If y'all feel like sitting around, I'm going to smoke for about an hour or longer. But not this bowl. Don't want to burn that one up. Find one in here. I know it's in here somewhere. How about that one? That one looks like fun. Let's go with that. So Suffolk, how's it going today? I'm smoking basically the end of a bag here. The Planta 2016 Cosmopolitan blend. I buy things in bulk at £1 a shot. I give them a review, but if I find it really, really on sale, I buy as much as I can. As much as I can. Sure, you can grumble, but if you're like me, nobody will listen and it won't do you any good. I found out a long time ago that I really wasn't important enough to grumble about anything, so I just try to have fun with everything I do. 2 years ago, I was enjoying the Astros. This year, not so much. Funny thing is, they have won every game I have watched. And they have lost every game I have not. I'm thinking about telling the Astros management this, and maybe I can get some season tickets for free. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Suffolk. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Oh, goodness. It's just a good day to be alive. The weather is craptastic. Absolutely horrid. Sprinkling just enough to make weather and traffic terrible. But not raining hard enough to actually get anything off the roads. Kind of days that you just want to sit back and go, cold? Yeah. Right there off that North Sea, yeah. I can agree. I would prefer this over cold. Look at me, I'm in a t-shirt. It's almost warm enough to be really comfortable in shorts. But with it being just a little bit wet, it's got that little bit of cooling factor, and still suffering from allergies. But luckily, the rain will take care of most of that. It's supposed to rain for the next 2 or 3 days. No big deal. It just is what it is. Oh, goodness. I am really going to enjoy this birthday. I ordered yesterday through the Briar Report website onto Pipe Nook my first ever Savinelli. All right. Well, you live pretty close to the Norse people, they were big believers in the bear. Uh, in fact, sort of kind of where the name berserker came from. Big hardy people. And they would attack, raid, pillage, burn everything in their path, from as soon as they could get a boat in the water to whenever it was getting too dangerous to put a boat in the water. So bears in your area, probably there's not many, but here in America we got several. Brown, black. Certain parts of America we got this crazy white bear. Big thing. We got these grizzlies, Kodiak. You can go to a zoo and find a panda, though the panda is actually closer in relation to a raccoon, at least according to science. Did not like. Oh my goodness. So it's baseball season again. My team is not doing well. It's basketball season still. My second team, the Rockets, they're doing pretty good. Yeah, that's about what I figured. There's just not many bears in England. It's been settled too long. Probably hunted out of existence well before anybody realistically understood that bears might be a good thing to keep around. Cricket season here soon. Oh, cricket. Now there's a game. Matches lasting 3 and 4 days. If you've never seen a true match of cricket, is it match? I thought it's match. A game, a match, taking the pitch. All right, I've been confirmed by somebody in England. It is match. A true cricket match. If you've never seen one, good Lord, go find one somewhere. Have a good time with that. That's an awesome game. It's better if you're drinking. And because it's outside, normally they don't mind too much if you have yourself a smoke. No, it could be game also. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. But I know that they call it a cricket pitch, just like they call it the soccer pitch or football pitch, which is more technically correct because that's what they call it. That would be football with a U, not 2 O's. American football, well, the name became because the ball is about a foot long. Now we know. Them bloody Americans, they can't figure out that a damn football needs to be played with the foot. So they play a game with their hands and they call it football. Bloody ingenious. That's about as close as an English accent as I'm going to come. I'm sorry. I sound like a Texan. And if anybody's following along at home, Suffolk has definitely reminded me that they call it football, we call it soccer. You don't play it in your socks, you play it with your feet. It should be football. But no, us Americans, we can't do things that are normal. All right, some things we do really well. We're not getting into all that though. Bloody good try at the accent, old boy. Try was all it was. It was just a try. Though I believe in the game of rugby there's a try. That would be scoring. Another good game. Yep, I've always been a fan of the All Blacks in rugby. I think it's because I was a fan of the Raiders and their colors were black and silver, and it just kind of spilled over from there. Except for in the World Cup, my favorite team is Manchester United. I have no idea why. But they have played here in Houston, and I did go to see them here in Houston when they played. They played against the American Olympic / World Cup team, and they got trounced. Sorry, the Americans got trounced. Is what it is. Having such a good time. Enjoying sports. I did not know that. Interesting thought. Rugby union and rugby league have different rules. I catch games on ESPN from time to time. Early mornings. Doesn't seem like anybody's up but me. I'm a sports fanatic though. I watch lacrosse, boxing, everything in between. I don't care what their differences is. Realistically, I just enjoy watching sports. Used to enjoy competing in sports, and then I shattered a kneecap. I can't run, and now I'm too lazy and fat. I was never big enough. So I am what I am now. I'm halfway to 90 and too old to care. In fact, yes, I have watched the Paralympics. Recently, an autistic girl, she ended up getting a scholarship to play golf. I think that's awesome. They're going to give a person who is challenged the opportunity to go to college, get a degree, and all because of sports. This is not something that would have happened 30 years ago. It wouldn't have happened 50 years ago. No way it would have happened even 10 years ago. And now it's becoming more and more mainstream that people with ability should be given the opportunity. They've earned it. They've put in the time and the work. And, things like that need to be celebrated as humans. At least in my opinion, things like that should be celebrated. Really? Well, my mom's in a wheelchair. She has MS. She didn't throw the discus like you did. That's amazing, though. I've seen some of those guys get the torque on those chairs way up, and that discus just comes out like crazy. Fenced. Were you in a wheelchair in college while you were fencing, or is that a later in life thing? I would think that would be a little difficult in a wheelchair, but I would also have thought that basketball in a wheelchair is going to be difficult, and I've seen that. I've actually seen wheelchair football. There's a lot of wheelchair games that 20 years ago, that's not going to happen. Spina bifida. Okay. Very good friend of mine. He became a drummer and really good at it too. Uses a setup similar to the guy from Def Leppard that only has a one arm. I've got actually 5 or 6 friends that have spina bifida. Only one of them bad enough that they're in a wheelchair. Well, I guess 2 now. I would consider Suffolk Piper UK a friend. And it's a terrible thing. I understand a lot of what goes on about that because, as I said, I've got several friends with the condition. It does not mean that you can't do. It just means that you're challenged at doing certain things. And I'd like everybody to remember that. Just because somebody's challenged at something doesn't mean that they can't. It just means give them a little extra time. Give them a little extra help if they need it. You see somebody in a wheelchair rolling through a grocery store, if they're looking at the top shelf, it's probably because somebody put the item they want on the top shelf. If you're on 2 feet, stand up, grab a hold of it for them. That is exactly correct. Life is too short to worry about all the issues. You know what? I used to be Mr. Physically Fit. I competed in marathons. Competed well, in fact. I never won any of them, but I was always in the first large group that passed through the finish line. I say large group. You'd have those people that could sprint a marathon, and they would be 5 or 6 way out in front. Then you would have that group that could run a marathon, and I would be in that group. Really? Jiu-jitsu? Good Lord. Well, I didn't do jiu-jitsu. I did do some Muay Thai. Can't tell it from the ears, but that's because my extra long arms didn't allow people to hit me very much. I had an unfair advantage. I used to swim. I've actually got invited to do the Ironman triathlon and went. The one in Hawaii, yes. Had I known that one of my best friends of all time was living in Hawaii at the time, I'd have stopped by and said hi. But no, I didn't know. I'd hunt, fish, run, jump, swim. There was a time there wasn't nothing I couldn't do. I look back at that time and I wonder what I could have done had I actually not wasted so much time. Well, that's very cool. I've actually got several friends that are special forces or ex-special forces. I guess the term used more commonly is previously special forces. A lot of good could come from that. They're going to share their knowledge, and knowledge is a good thing. That's one thing that we are never going to be limited on. If you choose to gain the knowledge, it's something they can't take away from you. It comes down to you got to make a choice and learn it. That's why I learned to be an electrician, because I was really good at it. Okay. Met a couple of those SAS guys. Wouldn't want to box with them. Tough guys. Tough. Very tough. They used to say they wouldn't want to fight with knives with me. Growing up, I grew up around some kids off of an Indian reservation, and we used to play cowboys and Indians a lot, and I'm going to tell you the cowboys lost more than they won. Well, at least when we were kids. But they taught me some things about knives that if I was better at it, I'd be teaching people how to do it. Not everybody's apt to be that way, but I was pretty good. In fact, when I was in the Army, they taught me a lot of things. The two things they never tried to teach me was how to shoot and how to use a knife. They told me straight out, we didn't teach you to shoot, we only taught you to shoot humans. And they said, yeah, I've been reading about that. The lack of firearms has increased the propensity of knife violence in the UK. It's kind of sad. Realistically, what it means is that humans can't be trusted around other humans. Can't put 100 of them in a room and give them one subject and have them not fight. Tobacco Pipes International. Mark, how you doing, Mark? I reviewed Bengal slices on my blog the other day. I gotta get more. Very tasty. Heavy on the Latakia. Or Latakia. Or Latakia. Very good to see you too. Hopefully you're able to enjoy a pipe at this point in time. But yes, on my blog, the last review I did was the Bengal slices. Very tasty. Anybody who has not had Bengal slices, you're missing out. Let's just say it. Balkan by Brebbia this morning. Suffolk, I agree with you. There are many people in the world that removal would be way too good for them. Who is the blender of Bengal slices? At least I'm hoping that's what you're asking. Honestly, I forgot to look it up. I looked up the 10 after I had finished what I was going to review, and I forgot to look at who the parent company is. Pretty much, if you can spell the word Bengal like the tiger and slices, it'll take you to... It's such a unique blend, I guess, that nobody even bothers saying who blends it. Actually, I would know better had I purchased it, but I did not. I got it because I was lucky number 13 on a certain GAW by Tobacco Pipes International. Lane, okay, so Lane 1Q goes and makes the Bengal slices also. All right. I can understand now the quality of that blend. I will say, if you are not a fan of Latakia, or the 17 other ways I've heard it said, you are probably going to either be a fan after you're finished, or you are going to hate it entirely. I'm a fan. I could straight pure Latakia, give it to me in a bar, let me crumble it or fold it up or rub some out. I'm going to be happy. I can also smoke straight Perique. People say, no, you can't do that. Yes, I can. I can. But you better be sitting down and prepared to have your head on a swivel, because that's the way it's going to feel. Whole room starts spinning. You're wondering what in the hell's going wrong with you. Well, it is very strong in the Latakia. It's about all you will taste. There are some other notes in there, but they get covered pretty spectacular fashion by the Latakia. But it looked like a candy bar, dark, rich, smoked super slow, very tasty. Well, God, that's got to be rough on you in Great Britain. Aromatics are really hard to get over there, from what I understand. And didn't they put a ban on importing flavored tobaccos or something like that? I should have let this dry out some before I stuffed it in the bowl. Forgot, with it raining and the 1,000% humidity here, it's just going to keep going out. I know that Cornell and Deal as a whole label is not available in the UK. And they are makers of some very fine aromatics. In fact, I've told many people, if you're going to go to England, you know, because going to Dunhill or going to Peterson, one thing you should do is pack yourself a suitcase full of tins of C&D, and I certainly will. I definitely will send you an email as soon as this one's over. Got about half a bowl left. So the interesting thing that I was saying was, I've been telling people if they'll take some C&D, put it in their suitcase, still tinned up, they'll go over there, you can trade. No law against trading. Can't import it, can't sell it. You can trade it. And there are some blends in the UK. I keep hearing about Velvet. Never tried it. I can't even find it here locally in the United States. Seems like it's unavailable. That would be one of those things that you would... See, that's a tragedy. It's like they're trying to tell you, oh yeah, we'll give you free medical, but you're going to lose out on a lot of good stuff. But you got good beer. I know that. Really, it's not available in the UK to your knowledge. Well, now I'm wondering where in the hell it's available. Not my fault. I'm just going by what I've been told. Tree is the one who said he's got Velvet. Is he Scotland or Ireland? Tree Piper? If you haven't checked out Tree Piper, oh my God, his channel is great. Sometimes he breaks out these monster bowl pipes. And I mean monster bowls. That could be where he's from, yeah. I'm a little on the exact geography of where everybody is. But Tree's got some pipes that have a bowl big enough to put this whole pipe in. Any way you want to put it. I'm sure that it would take an ounce to fill it, or 50 grams as is more likely said in the UK. There are some C&D blends that I swear you would not want to put in a pipe that size. Oh yeah, definitely. So you've seen them. You know what I'm talking about. They're absolutely enormous. Uh, a C&D blend that I like, but I like it in a small pipe, is Autumn Evening. It tastes like pancakes with maple syrup. But I've had it in a very large pipe. Not tree large, but large. And I couldn't get through the whole bowl because it was just like, oh God, a almost diabetic coma type thing going on. It started not being great. And then it started getting bad. Part of the reason why when I do reviews with 4 pipes. I use a very small clay. Look, this is about a normal bowl here. And you can still see the whole pipe with the clay in front of it. I use a very small meerschaum. And the reason I use the very small meerschaum and a small clay is because truly getting a feel for the tobacco on a meerschaum pipe or a clay, you get a very similar style of smoke out of those. It's very pure. It doesn't seem to hold other flavors. You can really dial in what the flavors are. But the meerschaum, being very small, is really a taster's pipe. It lets me know, should I be looking for a very small, short, quick bowl. The clay is a little bit larger. Again, it's still small, but it helps me. Is a little bit bigger better, or a little bit smaller better? And then I have what I call the ugly briar. It's hideous. I'm not going to show you right now, but it's an ugly pipe. I picked it up for $5 at a garage sale. But it allows me to, A, put it in a briar, and B, I'm then into the medium to large bowl, and the ugly briar is really good at bringing out peppers. If there's pepper at all in a blend, it's going to find it and bring it to the front. I don't know how it does it so well, but it does, and I like using it, so I continue to use it. And then I have a Missouri Meerschaum Bent General. Heck, I've got it right over here. And I joke about it being a 1/4 ounce bowl. It's not quite that, but it allows me to A, hit a corn cob, and B, hit a very large bowl. So as I was saying with Autumn Evening, when I tried it with the Bent General, I just didn't like it. And I still had half of a bowl to smoke, and I'm going, oh my God, it's too much. It's way too much. What can I do to fix it is really what I started thinking. So that's the reason I review with 4 pipes. And mostly it's because guys do have a tendency to like their size and shape and their specific smoking medium, whether it be clay or briar or steel or meerschaum or briar or whatever. And I try to make my reviews really line up so that everybody can say, okay, well, he did review for me. And he did put out as complete a review as he is able to do. Let my pipe go out again. But if anybody has to really blame somebody for me doing reviews at all, it has to be Phil of Briar Report and Bill of Stogie Report. Bought yourself a Legend yesterday. I'm not sure which Legend you bought. I'm a Legend. No, I'm not. Legend pipe. I'm not sure I've ever seen one or know enough about them to understand what I'd be looking at even if I had seen one. Corn cob. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. The Legend. Okay. Missouri Meerschaum Legend, I believe it is. Great smoking pipe. Only thing you have to do is let the bowl cool down just long enough for you to pack another one. You could smoke all day with that one pipe. I bought a Savinelli 320 yesterday. Yeah, I know it's not going to be here for my birthday. Oh, that's today. But I bought one. Oh, yeah. I've probably got 5 or 6 Legends. Those are really, really... thank you, Tobacco Pipes International, also known as Mark. Those really good pipes to have around. You know, you could set them down anywhere. You don't have to worry too much about them. As long as you keep the nib clean, you're good to go. If it burns up, you didn't spend that much money on it, realistically. I find that corn cobs bring just a little bit of sweetness into a pipe blend. I'm not sure why that is. I guess some of the natural sugars from the corn are still in the cob. Well, everybody around the United States seems to have acquired a taste for the 320. And I've been looking at them. And I finally found one for 88 bucks. It'd be like, what, about 50 pounds, give or take. I had a little extra money, so I pulled the trigger and I got it. Mine is a Trevi. It is a dark rusticated 320 shape with a silver band that they say is reminiscent of a Roman aqueduct. No. Corn cobs. Oh, I'm definitely going to review the 320. In fact, I left them a note saying, look, I'm buying it and I'm going to have it featured on my blog. But I can't get a new pipe without saying, oh, time to review a pipe. It's got to be done. And I'm hoping I don't piss off a lot of people. Being that I've never had one, I'm not even sure how well a Savinelli smokes, but everybody talks so well about them. And everybody keeps claiming that the 320 is such a good pipe that I might as well figure out what the hype's about, at least while I had a little extra money. Yeah, the corn cobs, they bring a little bit of sweetness in. It's not a bad thing. Some blends actually improve. I'm going to say improve with the little bit of sweetness that a corn cob will bring in. Oh, they make wonderful pipes. You can't be famous worldwide for pipes without making some damn good pipes. But I've never had one. I don't think I have a pipe that, except for my meerschaum, that cost more than 30 bucks. I pick them up cheap. I smoke the hell out of them. Now, my meerschaum I picked up because I like cigars. I'll just straight out say it. But when you go to Renaissance Festival, which here in the Texas area, we've got 3 of them that I could drive to throughout the year. If you're smoking a cigar, but you want to go into a shop, you got to put the cigar down. It won't be there when you come back. But if you're smoking a pipe, you just tap out the bowl and put it away in your pocket and walk in. Yes, the corn cob will still add a little bit of sweetness to a latke blend. It will not affect a pure latke, but if you've got a blend and it's got something else, it will highlight the something else's. You'll still get the latke. Bengal slices, I could really taste the other stuff more in the corn cob than I could in the meerschaum or in the briar. They're great little outside pipes. I'm that brave. A lot of people get pure latke for blending, and I'm either stupid enough or crazy enough to smoke it straight, and I actually liked it. Now, I'm not going to say that I super enjoyed Perique straight. Wow. But I did smoke it. And while some people will go, oh my God, you can't do that, I did. Wouldn't do it again. It wouldn't be an everyday or an all day thing. It's yes, I am on Facebook, but no, I do not use it for anything other than friends that I actually know, and I keep it separated from all my pipe smoking. But if you were to look me up on at Friedonald, Friedonald, I'm going to be there. I've got some pretty crazy things there. I promise it's nothing about tobacco or pipes or anything. It's a good way for me to stay in touch with my son, who's in the Air Force. Yes, on Facebook, I would be found at Friedonald, Friedonald. Uh, you'll see pretty much a picture of me somewhere. Picture's old. I hardly ever even jump on Facebook anymore. I keep in touch with a friend in uh, Hawaii, and some of my military friends, and well, my nieces and nephews, and my son. I'm so mean, I didn't even let my mom or dad or pretty much any of my family in on Facebook. My family's full of drama. I just don't have time for it. The kids, they post a little bit. I told them, look, hit me up on Messenger if you need me. I call them my kids. My nieces, my nephews, my son. My son's 25. He doesn't need my help. Yeah, he posts a few things every once in a while just to let me know he's doing all right. I'm up to 4 people. Woohoo! See Smoke Pipes. Hey, I'm sorry I missed your live the other day, but I did watch it later. Really enjoy See Smoke Pipes. If you haven't been watching his channel, really seriously follow him. He's got a good channel going on. All right. Hungry dogs, don't let them get too hungry. They'll eat anything. Yeah, I made the mistake of not letting this blend dry out. It keeps going out on me. Oh, yeah. I tend to do mine this time of day because I don't get any business calls at about this time of day. The only other option for my timing goes that it's got to be after 9 o'clock at night on a weekend. But normally 8 o'clock I'm dead to the world because 2 o'clock in the morning wow, reconnecting. Cool. What I do for work nowadays is I'm a boiler inspector. I take my whole body and shove it through a hole in a piece of steel that is 12 inches tall and 16 inches wide. Now, I'm about 5'10" and 220 pounds. Let's just say it's a special skill. If anybody was wondering what I was looking at, the truck that you saw drive by right past my corner, right past my shoulder. Let's see if I can point where it went by. Right about there. When it pulled into the parking lot that I'm sitting in, it caught my attention. And now comes another car. You might or might not see it. Oh, there it was. Right over this shoulder. Actually, it's, if you know how to get into a boiler or a manhole, as they're called, it's all technique. That 90% of it's right here. If you believe you can get in there, you can. If you believe that you can't, you can't. I've seen people much smaller than me freeze up, can't do it. I've seen people get in and then not be able to get out. All the new people, they go with me, and I drag them through places that actually have plenty of room. And when they freeze up, I have to hand them their walking papers and tell them, you're fired, you're gone. The problem is, they have to be able to do it. Otherwise, they're a liability more than an asset. And as a liability, you got to get rid of them. The job will definitely let you know if you are claustrophobic. And if you are, you can't do it. But you're looking at a tube that's 30 to 40 foot long, solid steel. The smaller the opening, the safer the boiler. But you still got to get in there to do the inspections. The biggest problem with it is, well, I guess I do feel kind of like a tunnel rat. The biggest problem is heat. You almost never see a boiler that's less than 100 degrees. They could have it turned off for days. All that steel is still radiating heat. You get to some of them in the summertime, and it's 145, 150 degrees on the inside. And, you know, people don't take that into consideration, and they drink a little too much or don't drink enough water on a regular basis. Heat gets them. Gets them quick too. That rain keeps coming in on me. Every once in a while I got to roll up the windows and shut it out, or I'm going to get this truck wet. That will not make the wife happy. I gotta tell you, Sea Smoke, I know you're still in here. I've been watching some of those pipes. Some of them are fantastic looking. I believe I got in on your latest GAW. Gotta say, you're doing some marvelous looking work. Anybody who's getting a Sea Smoke pipe, probably going to be very happy with it, just from what I'm seeing. They look really, really unique and excellent. I'm not sure how they smoke, but all right, everybody heard it here. Remember, get in on that GAW that he's doing. It's going until midnight tomorrow, Central Time. Luckily, that's midnight for me, being here in Houston. That'll be what o'clock on the East Coast? And it'll be 10 o'clock on the West Coast, p.m. Right? But if they don't get in, if you've got a cutoff time, stay to it. Hell, your GAW has been up there for what, 2 weeks now? I'm pretty sure I got in. If not, I'm going right away after I send Suffolk's back. Suffolk, remember, Sea Smoke Pipes has got a GAW going right now. Though I'm not sure if he's shipping to England. I didn't see whether that was happening or not. He's got a GAW going on. It's in the comments. Well, I'm hoping I'm one of them. Heck, I hope I win. One of the coolest things is, oh, sorry, Suffolk. You got screwed by a body of water. One of the cool things about what I will do. Do I win a GAW? I'm going to put your stuff, whatever I get, on my blog and on Twitter and on as many videos as I can. It is not because I feel like you need to give it to me because I'm going to do that. It's because if I win anything, I want everybody to know. Not that I won, but what such a good community we're having. And what a good product that came to me. How do you run a review blog without reviewing everything you can? You shouldn't. Some do, but I won't. Well, I'm coming down to about the end of the bowl. Yeah, we've got the better part of an hour in already. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Not because I want to, but got many things going on in my mind right now. So as always, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon.